What is up, everyone? This is Sorkin090 and it is a return of the Prehistoric event in Pewdiepie's Tube Simulator for the year 2026. We're in the beginning of June in version 2.79.0. If you have yet to have that update, be sure to manually download the update through Google Play or the Apple's App Store. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what we have for this Prehistoric event. Of course, the music you're going to be listening to should be prehistoric as well.
The waves of our common past are still echoing today. Though evolution seems to have stepped back because of a huge falling rock some 65 million years ago. Life went on and kept changing until it created the majesty and glory we all know as me. Just kidding. Here's a prehistoric themed celebration for all you relevant tubers.
Alright, there you go. I thought the voice lines were not here, but hey, that caught me off guard and we have a login surprise. Look at that, a tuber mini figurine. Isn't that adorable? Alright, VIP, not bad at all. Okay, so we should be in prehistoric for the theme, so that's fantastic. And from there, we have 12 days to enjoy this event, so be sure to get your daily tokens from your quest, the Pogo minigame, the sponsor gifts, and as well as the Prehistoric minigame to be able to get 4 brand new item tracker rewards. We have an egg, which I believe is going to be Oog. Then we also have mask wards, and since I've already collected them all, it's just going to be a random premium item related to the 2 item packs for the event itself. So there you have that. We do have the mask wards, and I'll showcase them in a second. But first, let's go ahead and go through customizations. That we have, oh, of course, the mask wards. We have the caveman, which you're able to buy from the shop. At the very bottom, you have a caveman that you're able to buy. So let's go ahead and see what we have for the other mask wards. So here's another caveman, Triceratops, T-Rex, T-Rex skull, pterodactyl, a fossil. Then you have a bit of more cave type of headdresses here too. So there you have the bone in the hair. Then you also have the skull. Then you have a tiger skull, which should be a saber-toothed tiger at that point. A meteorite. Then a Triceratops skull. A hatching dinosaur from an egg, the nautilus, and as well as a intellectual ape, an amber, a mammoth, which I believe is like a baby mammoth. But we have all these different types of mask wards to collect. And if I'm not mistaken, I could still wear my glasses with this one. Alright, there you go. Fantastic. And then we have nothing for the shirts as far as I'm aware. Nothing for the shirts, nothing for the props or glasses. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on with the chair. That we have a bit of a leather chair that we have different colors to choose from. Then you also have a desk that is a little bit of a prehistoric desk. You can see the fossil right then and there with a little bit of stone tab. Then you also have even more stone tablets for your keyboard and mouse. And then you also have a monitor, which should be another stone tab. So there you go, just lots of stone everywhere. We're in the Stone Age after all. Then with the background, we have a bit of cave walls here too. And I believe that's one of the actual rewards you were able to get from the item tracker reward. Then you also have a background. So you have a bit of a jungle type of environment or the ocean type of environment. You have either land or sea. So whichever you want to choose, you could choose this one right here. So it looks fantastic. It looks like we're just riding the waves here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the shop items right now. So let's go ahead and see what we have for the prehistoric items. We have some pottery and some pots and just some storage for your food so that you can have some meals. Then you also have just a lot of meat right here. Just look at this behemoth steak type of deal. Look at that. They could eat for days. Then you have a pile of bones. There's lots of bones from the hunt or an unfortunate cave person that just got eaten, like this tuber right here. Then you have another tuber, just more variety. Then you also have a hut that you could actually live in, or it could be a doghouse, who knows, but even then looks very nice. Then we have patches of dirt, so there you go, a little bit of archaeology, if I pronounce that correctly, that you could actually just unbury some bones. Then we have some glaciers. Well, not really glaciers, what would you call these actually? I'm not too sure, I do not remember off the top of my head, but it would be nice for the Ice Age, especially for a cave. Speaking of caves, we have some paintings onto the wall here, so there you go. Then we have the item tracker rewards. Keep in mind that this is a short event, just a small one at that to collect some items. We're already done with the shop items and now we're on the item tracker rewards, but soon enough we'll go to Craniac. But there's some more trees for the prehistoric forest, some more type of clovers and just grass at this point. Then we have a bit of a museum stand right here with some fossils and ambers, and another one with some dinosaurs. Look at that. Then we have even more plants, or just whatever thing it is, whatever you want to call it. I have no idea. But we have a caveman stuck in ice. Then you have a crazy type of alligator creature. Well, I forgot what it was called. I do not know the names of dinosaurs off the top of my head. This is one of my, well, just least knowledgeable type of event to even just talk about. I don't know. It's just I can't remember the names of dinosaurs on top of my head. It's just I call them dinosaur 1, 2, and 3 type of deal. It would be nice to see that we could actually have some labels just to tell us what these dinosaur names are. But either way, we have a cave entrance right here. Then another dinosaur. Look at that, kind of like a little bit of a salamander at that point. But we have rocks, just more rocks to look at for some mountains, and then some boulders, just giant ones at that. Then a shape or lampshade. I was close, but even then, we're onto the Flintstones type of theme going on here. Then we have some eggs, just little tiny dinosaurs hatching from eggs. That's adorable, just as long as they don't eat you. Then we have another dinosaur. I do not remember this one. I know it, but I do not remember it. But we do have the first wheel being invented right here, so there you go. Then we have a little bit of, I don't want to say an isopod, but kind of like, it's a horseshoe crab? Is that what it is? I'm not too sure. I just don't know. But even then, we have trees. Just more trees to look at. I love the prehistoric trees. Then you also have some more prehistoric plants. I love these actual designs right here. It's just so very colorful. So there you go. Look at that. Just so many different variations to look at. It's just so wonderful to actually see all these different types of colors. But sometimes the prettiest of colors are the ones that are also the most poisonous. But either way, just don't let this fish bite you with its giant teeth. Then you have another dinosaur. This is not a T-Rex, but even then, it's just so menacing to look at. Then some more walls here so that you can have some caves and things like that, or a mountainside if you wish to, or a canyon actually. But we have another hunter right here, so that's very fantastic. Then we have some fish that has been caught by the fishermen. Then you also have even more pillars and things like that for your cave. Then another Scoilepede type of deal. I believe that was a Pokemon. Either way, Millipede, that's the one I was looking at. Then more eggs. Look at that. Then we have even more dinosaurs to look at. This one looks like it actually goes into the sea, especially with this one that goes on land, with a little bit of a cranium with that one. Then you also have another caveman just eating some food right here. Another good day of a hunt. Then you have, well, an exit to a cave. I was about to say entrance, but nope, this is an exit, so there you go. Then we have some paintings onto the wall here. Just look at all the handprints, and then you also have the craniac items. So more dinosaurs to look at. Not a Bronchiosaurus, but something close to it. But even then, at least this one's kind of cute. Then we have a rhinoceros. At least at that point, I'm going to call this a rhinoceros. Then I don't think that's a saber-toothed tiger, but even then, it's still menacing that it's just going to eat you. Then Flintstones reference, look at that vehicle. Then a little bit of more dinosaurs to have. Just so many collections of dinosaurs. And of course, that's a dodo bird. You cannot mistakenly call this anything else. Then we have another dinosaur, and then we have a fireplace. A little bit of some things that you could actually make some pottery or cooking. Then some even more dinosaurs with this one that has long claws. Don't know what this is, but even then, I don't want to go near it. Then we have a tar pit. An unfortunate mammoth that got stuck in a tar pit. Then we have a child here for the caveman family, so there you have that. Then some more dinosaurs to look at. So this is just a perfect event. If you love dinosaurs, at least you could collect them all and build your prehistoric era. Then we have this massive behemoth of a beast. Just look at that. It's going to eat you up if you swim out to sea. Then we're going to go ahead and see that we have the 4 of them that I've already maxed out on. Then we have a giant bone for a skeletal thing. Then you also have a bit of spears and weaponry for some hunting and fishing. Then you also have some leather that has been stretched out so that you can make your furniture and clothing. And then we have a tree. Just a beautiful tree to look at, especially the one for the fall here. Even outside the prehistoric event, this tree will actually be very useful for some background decorations. And on a different side note, that we do have a brand new pixeling, but this is not part of the prehistoric event. It just happened to be here within this update, and this is the Prisma form. This is Tetro. Look at that. Created by Mob Squad, that we have a beautiful Tetris type of pixeling to get. So there you have that. It gives you a view boost and gaming, and as well as, I believe it gives you a boost and lifestyle. So let's go ahead and take a look at the pixeling real quick for the stats. That's Craniac, my mistake. I meant to actually go to the eggs with eyes. So there you go. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at Prisma form. That is gonna be further down into the letter T, or actually, yes, the letter T. That we have gaming and lifestyle. So there you go. Subscribers and lifestyle, views in gaming. Well, appropriate for that. Next, we go ahead and take a look at the item packs that you're able to get for the event. We have the Prehistoric pack and then the Scientifically Accurate Dinosaur pack. So for the Prehistoric pack, it contains 5 exclusive items. They don't give XP, but is sure to calm the primal urges evolution left nestling deep within you. And then for the scientifically accurate dinosaur pack, 5 more exclusive items. Dinosaurs, and they have feathers, but why? Because they're scientifically accurate. So that's fantastic. So we have even more items to get. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. And it's going to be right here that we have a little bit of Quetzalcoatl, if I pronounce that correctly. So there's that one. Then you also have a little bit of velociraptors, just feathery at that point. Then let's go ahead and see what other dinosaurs that we have. That we have another type of, I don't remember, Stegosaurus? Is that what it is? I think that's what it is. I don't remember right now. But Tyrannosaurus Rex, at least I know that one. Then the Triceratops, so there you have that. Then a mammoth, so this is going to be part of the prehistoric pack. Then we also have a giant dragonfly, just one giant bug to look at. Then some more trees right here. Kind of looks like a pineapple tree. Not really, but even then. But we have the saber-toothed tiger. At least we have that going on here. And then we have a rock. Just some more paintings onto a rock, or a plain rock just for background decorations. And last but not least, we'll go ahead and take a look at Edgar and Maya when it comes to the event itself, because they have their very own costumes. If I'm not mistaken, they'll be the caveman costumes as well. So let's go ahead and just buy some more type of aquariums. Well, not really an aquarium, but it looks like one. So let's see what they look like. There is Edgar, well, in the background right here with a little bit of caveman outfit, but Maya has a dinosaur outfit for both the background and as well as the Puggle herself. Then with Edgar, there you go. There's the clothing for the caveman. I knew one of them had it. I just forgot the other one actually had the dinosaur outfit. But even then, they're both oh so cute. But there you have it. Short, simple, and straight to the point that we have this event to pass the time before the next event. And even then, we have even more pixelings to collect. If I'm not mistaken, we have 6 brand new pixelings. Well, 3 regular and 3 with the Prisma variant, just jumping from 144 up to 150 pixelings. Every update, they're just giving us more and more pixelings to collect. So, do your best to collect them all, as I sure have to take the time to collect them as well, especially through Craniac. But either way, let me know in the comment section below what you think about the update. Do you like it? Or at least the event too? Do you like it? Do you not like it? It is here for the next 12 days. So go ahead and start collecting and start reminiscing with the good old days with the prehistoric event to collect as many dinosaurs as you can. But until then, this was the end of this video, so if you enjoyed this video, found this video to be entertaining and as well as helpful, then be sure to give this video here a like to help up with the channel and videos here on YouTube. And if you're brand new to the channel and want to see more videos, content, and live streams in the future, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, turn on all notifications so that I miss out on future content, and last but not least, feel free to donate provide stupid username as well as a network in the comment section below. I'm more friends, I'm more followers, I'm more gifts, I'm more people joining the network, I'm more fun playing the game every single day, as I can continue to update this game every month. Until next time, I've been SwordKings90. Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe out there, and then as always, I'll see you guys next time in a new video or live stream.
I won't forget your last betray. I'll never forget this day.